Day 368. Today there are a lot of updates from the east. Here the Russians managed to breach one of the key points on the Ukrainian defense line and cause a local collapse on the front. This gave the Russians a chance to double the number of assaults on the last remaining settlements north of Bakhmut, and unfortunately for the Ukrainians, the Russians managed to push them out on the last day of suitable weather. Last time I told you that the Russians concentrated their assault units to the north of Bakhmut in order to take control over the last settlements on the line before the weather conditions deteriorated, in particular Berkhivka, Yagidne and train station Stupochky. The situation in Berkhivka was very dire, and the Russians managed to push the Ukrainians out of this village after 1 day of additional clashes. The situation around Yagidne was more stable, and the Ukrainians here even conducted a successful counterattack. But unfortunately, with the fall of Berkhivka, the defense line quickly fell apart. The Russians managed to overwhelm the Ukrainians with fire by opening additional lines of attack and eventually capturing Yagidne. After that, they basically put the Ukrainians near the train station into a salient, so the Ukrainians were forced to step back from this position as well. In order to slow down the Russians, the Ukrainians have blown up a small dam on the outskirts of Bakhmut. The release of the water flooded the streets between Ukrainian and Russian-controlled territories, and also cut off some Russian positions from the mainland, which in the short term diminished the room for maneuver. The Ukrainians here got very unlucky, because the Russians managed to achieve their tactical goals during the last day of the suitable for massive assaults weather. As you can see from the video, the Ukrainians blew up the dam when it was still cold, so there was a mixture of snow and rain. But recent videos from Bakhmut clearly show that the snow has almost entirely melted, because around a week ago everything was still white. The latest developments mean that there are no Ukrainian fortifications between Russian positions and the last highway leading out of Bakhmut. There are several smaller roads between this highway and Ivanivske, but they are going through the fields, and with the current weather, the chance of getting stuck is very high.